TNA Slammiversary 2025 predictions. Written them down there. Nice quick video so I don't bore anyone like that. I don't know everything about TNA, but usually I write down the winner as well, but this time in my head I'm not going to go for it. So, Tessa Blanchard versus Indy Hartwell. My prediction, plain and simple, Indy Hartwell. Why? Because I think she's going to win. Now, Indy Hartwell's quite new to it. Obviously, Tessa seems like this big, bad, bully person sort of thing. So yeah, I do reckon Indy's going to win, probably with like a roll-up or something to surprise her. Then obviously, Tessa will get annoyed, probably attack Indy, and then we'll go from there. The Elegance brand versus the Inspiration for the TNA Knockouts Tag Team Championships. So the Elegance brand are your tag team champions, and look, if they do win, they're going to weasel the way out of it. Okay, and then you've got obviously the Inspiration who've just returned to TNA. So most people would probably put the title on them, but I'm going to say that the Elegance brand are going to keep their titles. No idea why, I've just got a feeling, so I'm going to go for the Elegance brand to retain. Cedric Alexander, the new TNA debut of Cedric Alexander, does that make sense? Cedric Alexander versus Mustafa Ali. Now this story is confusing because they're annoyed at each other from a WrestleMania like a few years back. And then you had, is it Tasha Steelz pretending to be on Alexander's side, but then she low blows him. It's actually with Mustafa Ali, who Mustafa Ali was treating her bad, then she was treating him okay because, I don't know, then you got the Order 4 doing something like that, and they're in a feud with the system, and where Cedric Alexander fit into this one, and I think he's got some people with him, I don't know who they are, I might even be wrong, I don't know, but either way, it's going to be Mustafa Ali, just, yeah, with his new heel character, I think it's fantastic. I understand it's obviously Cedric Alexander's, is it re-debut match in TNA? I don't know. But yeah, either way though, Mustafa Ali, I think he's going to like, maybe not injure Cedric Alexander, but basically, you know, beat down on him, if that makes sense, after the match, or during it. But yeah, I'm going to go for Mustafa Ali. Moose versus Leon Slater. Okay, so for the X Division Championship, Leon Slater wants to be the youngest X Division champion, and Moose wants to be the longest reigning. Now, Leon Slater can still be the youngest X Division champion after Moose loses the title, if that makes sense. So, do you want to have Moose as the longest reigning X Division champion, or do you want Leon Slater as the youngest X Division champion? I personally think it's going to... I do want to say Leon, but I'm going to say Moose is going to retain, so he can be the longest X Division champion, longest reigning, not physically the longest. He's pretty long anyway. Okay, and then Leon Slater will still win it whilst he's still young enough, if that makes sense. So that's what I reckon they're going to do here. Have Moose basically retain, so he's the longest X Division champion, then have Leon Slater win at a different time. But I do feel like if we could change one answer, this would be it. Then we have a fatal four-way, or is it just a four-way match now? A ladder match, that is, for the TNA Tag Team Championships. You got the Hardys versus the Rascals versus First Class, Casey Navarro and AJ Francis versus the Nemeth brothers of Ryan and Nick Nemeth. I forgot the names of the Rascals. The Hardys are Matt and Jeff Hardy. I genuinely forgot the name of the Rascals because isn't someone injured and you got replaced by somebody else? See, I'm learning things, but not everything. But then I'm not sure if they're back though. Right, okay. I'm going to say, this is a bit weird, if that makes sense. If it's the original Rascals, the ones that we've been seeing for the past, like, however long, okay, right, they're going to win it. But if it's the replacement Rascal, which is very confusing, I know, I probably should check this out better, they won't win. It'll be retained by the Nemeths. But I'm going to go for the actual final answer of the Rascals winning this match. And I do feel like the Hardys are going to help them in some way. I know it's obviously all for yourself, but I feel like if they can stop the Nemeths from holding on to the tag team titles, then that's good enough for them. Then we have a title versus title match. The TNA Knockouts Championship versus the NXT Women's Championship. Masha Slamovich versus JC Jane. Masha Slamovich is your TNA Knockouts Champion, and JC Jane is your NXT Women's Champion. JC Jane will have fatal influence of her, of Jasmine Nix and Fallon Henley, whereas Masha Slamovich will have Lei Ying Lee and Zaya Brookside. Now, with how long that Masha Slamovich has actually been the champion for, and JC Jane's still quite new and no one thinks she's going to win anything, she seems to be winning everything, I'm going to give it to JC Jane. I don't see WWE giving up a title to TNA. I know obviously TNA's done it for WWE and you're thinking, okay, if TNA does this and then, yeah. I think it fits the character perfectly of having JC Jane as a double champion. I don't really see it fitting the character of Masha Slamovich. Maybe it would, obviously, because you'd want to defend it more. But I can see, obviously, just for example, I know obviously Jordan Grace has got a program going on with Blake Monroe at the minute, but I can see Masha saying, okay, right, like now you've got those titles, you have to defend both of them. So you're defending the title against me, the TNA title, and then obviously Jordan Grace challenges for the NXT Women's No, she swap that round, considering Jordan Grace has never won the NXT Women's Championship. She had more title matches than actual matches these days. Well, that makes no sense. More title matches than non-title matches. Yeah. And then we have the men's triple threat match for the TNA World Championship. Trick Williams, the champion, versus Mike Santana versus Joe Hendry. My pick is Trick Williams. I do see Trick Williams retaining it here. I do feel like he's going to hold it just a little bit longer. I don't see where it goes if he actually does just lose it there and then. And I can see First Class getting involved. Maybe they even win the tag team titles and it'd be like a three-way thing. I don't know. That sounds weird. But in the end, I'm going to say Trick Williams. So I do think the only new champion is actually going to be the tag team champions, obviously the Rascals winning the men's tag team titles, and JC Jane, because we're guaranteed to have at least one new champion, aren't we? Okay. So let me just quickly run through these again. Okay. Indy Hartwell, Elegance Brand, Mustafa Ali, Moose, the Rascals, JC Jane, and Trick Williams. I think that's all the matches. If I've missed one, let me know. I've not seen the newest episode of Impact on Thursday, so obviously that cancels all that out. Maybe things will change or a match gets added. So I can't really say anything about that now, can I? If there is going to be a match, it's more than likely probably going to be like another triple threat match between Steve Macklin, Jake something, and Mance Warner. If that's the case, then I'm going to give it to Steve Macklin to retain his international championship. That probably didn't even happen. Maybe it's already happened or it's going to happen again. We'll see. Anyway. That's my predictions. Let me know yours, all that other good stuff. Please like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching.